Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to first tape in my subliminal series. Listen up, because I'm about to say something you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it. You're not special. You're not some destined superstar. The world doesn't owe you anything. The truth is, no one cares about your excuses, your sob stories, or your sense of entitlement. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's got struggles. So stop acting like you're the exception. You want success. You want a life worth living. Well, then stop waiting for things to fall into your lap. The people you look up to didn't get there by luck. They worked for it every single day. They fought for what they have, pushed through pain, and did what needed to be done even when no one was watching. They didn't wait for motivation. They created it. So what are you doing? Complaining? Watching others succeed and sitting on your hands? Wake up. You don't have time to waste. The only way to stand out is to outwork everyone else. Get serious, get disciplined, and most importantly, stop thinking the world is going to hand you success. You have to earn it. Stop thinking you're special. It's a harsh truth, but it's one that too many people avoid. From the moment you were born, society has fed you the idea that you're unique, that you're different, that you're somehow exempt from the grind that others face. You've been told, directly or indirectly, that you deserve something just for existing. But the reality is, you're not special. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or how many dreams you have. The world owes you nothing. The fact that you breathe doesn't give you a free pass. Success is not handed out like a participation trophy at the end of the game. It's earned. No one gets to sit back, relax, and wait for things to fall into their lap. Yet, that's the illusion many people live under. They believe that if they just work hard enough or dream big enough, success will somehow come to them. The truth? It won't. The idea that you're special creates a dangerous mindset, one that encourages complacency. The notion that you should automatically succeed simply because you think you deserve it holds you back. People like that often find themselves stuck in the same place for years, wondering why life isn't giving them what they want. They look around, frustrated, comparing themselves to others who appear to be getting ahead. What they don't see is the work, the sacrifice, the relentless pursuit of excellence that those people have put in to reach their goals. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's simply the result of consistent effort and hard choices. You can't expect the world to acknowledge your potential if you aren't willing to acknowledge the work required to achieve it. Talent doesn't matter without effort. Skill doesn't matter without dedication. All the qualities you think make you special mean nothing if you don't put in the work day in and day out. You are not entitled to success. It doesn't owe you anything. The only thing the world owes you is the opportunity to prove yourself. And that opportunity is earned, not handed to you on a silver platter. So stop waiting for someone to recognize your so-called specialness. Stop thinking that you'll get somewhere because of your potential or your dreams. The world rewards the people who show up and do the work, not the ones who show up thinking they're too good to get their hands dirty. If you want to make something of yourself, you'll need to do more than dream about it. You'll need to sacrifice. You'll need to fail. You'll need to get uncomfortable, face rejection, and push through when everyone else has given up. Only then will you realize what it actually takes to succeed. There are no shortcuts. There's no magic formula. There's no special privilege that can be granted. You're not going to walk into a room and have everything handed to you. You have to earn it, and you will earn it through hard work. This isn't about feeling sorry for yourself or thinking that others have it easier. It's about accepting that everyone has a story, everyone faces challenges, and everyone must fight to succeed. There's no exception, not for you, not for anyone. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you can get to work. When you believe you're special, you place yourself in a bubble where you don't truly see the world for what it is. The world doesn't care about your feelings, and it doesn't care about your hopes and dreams unless you back them up with action. Stop thinking that your desire is enough to make it happen. Stop thinking that just wanting something will make it come to you. The people you admire didn't get there because they were born with some extraordinary gift or because they were more deserving than anyone else. They got there because they outworked everyone else. If you truly want to change your life, if you want to reach the success you've been dreaming of, it starts with understanding that you're not special. You're just like everyone else. The difference between you and the person who's succeeding is that they're putting in the hours, the sweat, the sacrifice. They're not waiting for a magic moment or some divine sign. They're simply doing what needs to be done day after day, even when it's tough. The first step in getting anywhere is realizing that there are no shortcuts and that nothing is guaranteed to you. Once you accept that you are not special, that your success isn't going to happen without immense effort, you can start taking the steps that will actually get you where you want to be. It's not about being born with the right set of circumstances. It's about the willingness to put in the work over and over again until you build something that's undeniable. And that, more than anything, is what will set you apart. Success is earned, not given. This is one of the most critical truths you need to understand if you're ever going to reach any level of greatness in your life. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success will somehow come to you because you want it bad enough or because you've had some minor victories along the way. But let me be clear. The world doesn't care how badly you want something. It only cares about what you do to make it happen. Look around at the people who have achieved great things. None of them got there by wishing, hoping, or waiting for the perfect opportunity. They got there by putting in the work, by making sacrifices, and by staying committed when everyone else was ready to quit. They didn't sit around complaining that they didn't have the right resources or the right circumstances. Instead, they figured out how to make it work with what they had and kept pushing forward even when it seemed impossible. You might think that some people just have it easy, that they've somehow been handed success on a silver platter. But the truth is, what you see on the surface is rarely the full picture. Behind every success story is a relentless commitment to the grind, to the hours of effort that nobody sees. People don't talk about the sleepless nights, the failures, or the moments of doubt. They don't tell you about the times when they wanted to give up, but chose to push through anyway. They don't mention the times they were told no or the times they had to pick themselves back up after a setback. All that matters is the result, the success that they earn. There's a dangerous myth that some people are just born lucky or that success is a result of fate. This idea that luck is the deciding factor in whether or not someone achieves greatness is one of the most destructive beliefs you can hold. If you're constantly waiting for the right circumstances, for the perfect timing, or for someone to hand you an opportunity, you'll be waiting forever. The world doesn't care about luck. It cares about who is willing to put in the work, who is willing to take risks, and who is willing to keep going when everything seems stacked against them. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not something you can just hope for and magically receive. It's something you build over time, piece by piece, with every decision you make, with every effort you put in. Every hour you dedicate to learning, improving, and mastering your craft is a step closer to the success you desire. And you can't rush the process. There's no shortcut to success. There's no way to bypass the hard work, the failures, and the lessons learned along the way. It's all part of the journey. The reason success is earned and not given is because it takes more than just desire. Anyone can want something. Anyone can have a dream. But most people don't have the discipline to see that dream through. They don't have the grit to push through when things get hard. They don't have the consistency to show up every day and put in the work even when they don't feel like it. Success is about more than just talent or ambition. It's about doing the work when it's hard, when you don't have the energy, and when the results aren't immediate. There's a level of patience required to truly understand this concept. You need to realize that success doesn't come in a neat, straight line. It's messy. It's filled with setbacks, mistakes, and failures. But it's through those experiences that you build the character, the skills, and the resilience necessary to achieve greatness. No one is born successful. No one gets a free pass. You have to show up every single day, ready to give it your best. You have to grind when you don't feel like it and push through the hard times with the same intensity you give to the good times. Every person you see who has made it to the top has earned their place. They didn't get there by luck. They didn't get there by waiting for things to fall into their lap. They earned it by being relentless, by pushing through every obstacle, and by showing up when others gave up. They kept going even when the path seemed impossible and when no one else believed in them. They did the work when it wasn't glamorous, when it wasn't fun, and when the odds were stacked against them. So don't think for a second that success is something that will just be handed to you because you want it. Don't sit around hoping that the world will suddenly recognize your potential. The world doesn't care about potential. It cares about results. And results are earned through action, through relentless effort, and through an unwavering commitment to doing whatever it takes to achieve your goals. The sooner you realize that success is earned and not given, the sooner you can get to work. You'll stop making excuses, stop waiting for the perfect time, and start putting in the effort that will get you where you want to go. Because success is out there for anyone who's willing to earn it, and that includes you. But you have to be willing to do the work no matter what. Hard work and discipline are non-negotiable. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can start shaping the life you want. There's a misconception that success is about being the smartest person in the room or being born with certain talents. While talent can help, it's not enough. The people who truly succeed are the ones who understand that without hard work and discipline, nothing else matters. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you don't work consistently and put in the effort day after day, it doesn't mean anything. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. There are plenty of people who have the natural ability to succeed, but don't have the drive to push through the tough times. They coast on their skills, expecting everything to come easily, but nothing worthwhile is easy. And without discipline to back it up, talent will get you nowhere. The problem is that most people want the results, but are unwilling to pay the price. They want success without the grind, the sacrifices, and the constant effort that comes with it. They're looking for shortcuts or ways to make things easier, but those shortcuts don't exist. The people who truly make it are the ones who embrace the process, who understand that the road to success is paved with consistent effort. It's not glamorous, it's not always fun, but it's essential. Discipline is about doing the things you don't feel like doing, especially when you'd rather be doing something else. It's about showing up when you're tired, when the motivation is gone, and when life gets in the way. The most successful people are not the ones who are naturally gifted, but those who have learned how to push through the tough times with focus and determination. They have developed a sense of discipline that allows them to keep going when others would quit. Hard work isn't just about putting in hours. It's about putting in those hours with a sense of purpose, of knowing exactly what you're working toward. It's easy to stay busy, but being busy doesn't necessarily mean you're productive. You can work 12 hours a day and still get nowhere if you aren't working on the right things, if you don't have a clear plan, if you're not focused on making real progress. That's why discipline is just as important as hard work. It keeps you focused on what matters. It allows you to prioritize the tasks that will waste your time. Every successful person has learned to be disciplined. It's something that has been developed over time, not something they were born with. It's a skill like any other that has to be cultivated. If you think you're just not disciplined, you're wrong. You can become disciplined if you make it a priority and stick to it. It doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, it becomes second nature. You develop the ability to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Discipline also involves making sacrifices. It means giving up the things that feel good in the moment in order to achieve the things that will benefit you in the long run. It means saying no to distractions, to procrastination, to that temptation to take the easy route. It's not about being perfect or avoiding mistakes, but about sticking to your commitments and doing what you know needs to be done, even when you'd rather do something else. Hard work and discipline go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Hard work without discipline will lead you to burnout. Discipline without hard work will leave you stuck in place, never really making progress. Both are necessary for success. Discipline is the foundation that keeps you going, while hard work is what helps you build and achieve your goals. Together they create momentum, and that momentum is what drives you forward even when everything seems difficult. The people who truly succeed are those who understand this. They know that success is not about taking shortcuts or looking for easy answers. It's about showing up every day and putting in the work, whether or not you feel like it. They know that discipline is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. It's the difference between talking about what you want and actually making it happen. They understand that hard work and discipline are non-negotiable. Without them, success is nothing more than a fantasy. You're not going to get anywhere without them. No one gets to the top by sitting back and waiting for things to come to them. You have to go after what you want, and that takes hard work and discipline. It means doing the things that are uncomfortable, putting in the effort when you don't see immediate results, and sticking with it when others would have given up. Success doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired or if you'd rather take a break. It only cares about the work you put in and the discipline you show to keep pushing through. If you want to be successful, you have to embrace hard work and discipline. They are not optional. They are the keys to achieving anything you've ever wanted. And without them, you'll be left with nothing but regrets. Don't wait for motivation, create it. Motivation is one of the most misunderstood concepts when it comes to success. People talk about motivation like it's some magical force that will suddenly strike them one day, giving them the drive they need to take action and achieve their goals. But let me tell you right now, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. And if you're waiting for motivation to get started, you're going to be waiting forever. The truth is, you can't rely on motivation to do the hard work for you. Motivation's a fleeting emotion. It's not something you can count on day in and day out. There will be days when you feel fired up, ready to conquer the world. And there will be days when you feel completely drained, when the last thing you want to do is put in any more effort. If you're waiting for motivation to strike, you're not going to get very far. You have to create your own motivation, even on the days when you don't feel like it. It starts with discipline. You don't need motivation to show up and do what needs to be done. What you need is the discipline to push through regardless of how you feel. Motivation may give you a spark, but it's discipline that will keep you going day after day. It's easy to get excited about a goal at the beginning, but the real work happens when that initial excitement fades and you have to continue despite the lack of motivation. It's during those times that your discipline will take over. The problem with relying on motivation is that it often leads to inconsistency. One day you might feel motivated to work on your goals, and the next day you might feel completely unmotivated. This inconsistency will only slow you down. Success isn't built on bursts of motivation. It's built on consistent, focused effort over time. If you're always waiting for motivation to show up, you're not creating the momentum you need to make real progress. Instead of waiting around for motivation to arrive, take action anyway. The key is to start moving, even when you don't feel like it. Once you start working, even if it's just a small step, you'll find that the act of moving forward generates its own motivation. Momentum breeds motivation. The more you work, the more you'll want to keep working. And the more you accomplish, the more motivated you'll feel to push even harder. Motivation doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's something you create by taking action. It's the feeling you get when you see the results of your hard work and realize that you're on the right path. It's important to remember that motivation doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to come in the form of a grand, inspiring moment. Motivation can be as simple as a small victory, a task completed, or the satisfaction of knowing that you're making progress. These small moments of achievement build over time, and eventually they will fuel you to keep going. You can create your own motivation by setting small goals, accomplishing them, and then celebrating those wins, no matter how minor they may seem. You don't need to wait for inspiration to strike before you start working. Inspiration comes after you take action, not before. It's easy to feel like you need to be inspired to start, but in reality, inspiration will often follow once you begin. Waiting for motivation is a form of procrastination. It's your mind's way of telling you to avoid the work, to put it off until tomorrow, when you'll feel more motivated. But the truth is that tomorrow rarely comes. So stop waiting for a moment of inspiration to begin and just get to work. Creating motivation is also about having a clear sense of purpose. When you know why you're working toward a goal and you understand the bigger picture, you're more likely to push through the days when motivation is lacking. You can't rely on motivation to get you through the tough times. Instead, you have to keep your vision in mind and remember why you're doing what you're doing. This sense of purpose will help you keep going, even when things get difficult. The more you work, the more your mind starts to shift. The work itself becomes part of the process that drives you forward. It's not about waiting for motivation to show up. It's about taking responsibility for your actions and deciding that no matter what, you will keep moving toward your goals. The real winners are the ones who understand that they can't wait for the perfect conditions or the right moment. They know that the only time to act is right now, and that the act of doing will fuel their motivation. So instead of waiting for motivation to appear, start creating it through action. Get up, get to work, and let your efforts generate the momentum you need to stay on track. The more you work, the more motivated you'll become. It's that simple. Motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you make. And once you realize that, you'll find yourself achieving more than you ever thought possible. Everyone has struggles, and you're not the exception. This is something that you need to fully understand if you want to make any progress in your life. Far too many people get caught up in the idea that their struggles are unique, that they have it worse than everyone else, or that their obstacles are somehow insurmountable. But the truth is, every single person you look at, no matter how successful they seem, has faced their own challenges. Life doesn't just hand out struggles to a select few. It's a universal experience. You're not the exception to this rule. And once you accept that, you'll realize that your challenges are simply part of the process. You might look at someone who has achieved great success and assume that they had it easy, that things just fell into place for them. What you don't see are the years of hard work, sacrifice, and the obstacles they faced behind the scenes. You don't see the long nights, the failures, the doubts, and the moments when they felt like giving up. You only see the finished product, the result of all the battles they fought along the way. Everyone has had to push through something, and your struggles are no different from theirs. The difference is how you respond to those struggles. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself when things aren't going the way you want them to. It's easy to get frustrated, to wonder why you're not where you thought you'd be, or to compare yourself to others who seem to have it all together. But the reality is, the only thing holding you back is the way you perceive your struggles. If you keep thinking that your struggles are something you can't overcome, you're going to keep feeling stuck. But if you can shift your mindset and understand that every person who's achieved something meaningful has had to face challenges, you'll stop using your struggles as an excuse to quit. You need to stop thinking that your problems are unique. Everyone has problems. Some are bigger, some are smaller, but they all exist. The fact that you're facing challenges doesn't make you special. It makes you human. And it's not the fact that you have struggles that defines you. It's how you respond to them. Life isn't about avoiding problems. It's about how you handle the ones that come your way. The successful people you admire didn't get to where they are by avoiding challenge. They got there by facing them head on, by taking responsibility for their own progress, and by using their struggles as fuel to drive them forward. The more you dwell on the idea that your struggles make you different or more deserving of sympathy, the longer you'll remain stuck in the same place. When you focus too much on your struggles, you're giving them power over you. You're allowing them to dictate your actions, your mindset, and ultimately your future. Instead, you need to take control of your struggles. Use them as lessons, as stepping stones to get you where you need to go. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. The fact that something is difficult doesn't mean you can't handle it. It simply means that it's worth fighting for. Your struggles are not a reflection of your worth or your potential. They are simply part of the process of becoming who you're meant to be. Everyone who's ever achieved anything significant has faced challenges along the way. If you think that those people had it easier than you, you're deceiving yourself. They didn't have some magical advantage. They just didn't let their struggle stop them. They kept pushing forward, even when things were tough. And that's what made all the difference. You need to stop looking at your struggles as something that's holding you back and start seeing them as the things that will ultimately propel you forward. And it's also important to recognize that your struggles are not the end of the road. They're just bumps along the way. You may hit a rough patch, face setbacks, or feel like you're never going to get ahead, but those moments are temporary. What defines you is how you respond in those moments. Do you let them break you, or do you use them as motivation to keep going? The choice is yours. You have the power to shape your own future no matter what obstacles stand in your way. Every struggle you face is a chance to prove to yourself that you can overcome it, that you can handle whatever life throws at you, and that you're capable of more than you think. The next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by your struggles, remember this: you're not the only one facing tough times. Everyone has their own battles, and it's not the battles that define them, it's how they fight. Your struggles are just one part of your journey, not the entire story. What matters is what you do in response to them. Do you let them defeat you, or do you use them to drive you forward? The people who make it aren't the ones who never had struggles. They're the ones who chose to keep going despite them. So stop thinking of your struggles as obstacles that are in your way. Instead, start thinking of them as opportunities to prove your strength. You're not the exception to the rule. Everyone faces struggles. It's how you deal with them that will determine your success. You can't wait for the perfect moment to act. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to achieving their goals. They wait for the right time, for the stars to align, for everything to fall into place before they take action. They think that success will just happen when the conditions are perfect. But the truth is that there is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth. If you keep waiting for it, you'll be waiting forever. And by the time you realize that, you'll have wasted years of your life in the process. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and reasons not to act. If you keep telling yourself that you'll start when things are easier, you'll never start. There will always be something holding you back, whether it's fear, uncertainty, or simply the idea that you don't have enough resources or knowledge to take the first step. But here's the reality. You don't need everything to be perfect to begin. All you need is the willingness to start, to take that first step, and then figure out the rest as you go. The most successful people didn't wait for everything to be lined up in their favor. They took action despite the obstacles, despite the unknowns, and despite the fear that came with taking that first step. They understood that the journey would not be easy, but that it was better to start moving than to remain stuck in a place of comfort, hoping for things to fall into place. If they had waited for the perfect moment, they would have missed out on all the progress they made. Progress doesn't wait for perfection. It's made by taking action in imperfect conditions. Waiting for the perfect moment also feeds into procrastination. It's easy to justify not taking action when you believe that the perfect conditions haven't arrived yet. You convince yourself that it's not the right time, that you'll start tomorrow, next week, or next month. But tomorrow never comes. The longer you wait, the more time you waste. The more you delay, the harder it becomes to take that first step. Procrastination becomes a habit, and the habit of waiting for the perfect moment keeps you stuck in a cycle of inaction. This mindset is not only unproductive, but also dangerous. You're allowing fear, doubt, and uncertainty to control your actions. The longer you wait for the perfect moment, the more opportunities you miss. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act, even when they don't feel ready, even when the conditions aren't ideal. The key is to take action anyway. When you take action, you create momentum. And momentum leads to progress, even when it doesn't feel like you're moving forward at first. The idea of the perfect moment also keeps you from learning. If you wait until everything is aligned and you feel fully prepared, you're missing out on the opportunity to learn along the way. It's through doing that you gain experience. And it's through making mistakes that you learn the most valuable lessons. Action is the best teacher. Waiting for the perfect moment is essentially waiting for all your questions to be answered before you begin. But the truth is that you won't have all the answers. The answers come when you start taking action, not before. The more you wait for the perfect conditions, the more you delay your own growth. Taking action creates the environment for success. Action breeds clarity, and clarity breeds confidence. The more you take action, the more you learn about what works and what doesn't. The more you put yourself out there, the more you'll refine your strategy, improve your skills, and make adjustments based on real-world experience. Waiting for the perfect moment might feel safer in the short term, but it only keeps you from moving forward, from gaining the experience and knowledge you need to succeed. You can't wait for everything to be right. You have to start, and then make things right along the way. If you're serious about achieving your goals, you have to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment will never come. You can't control the circumstances, but you can control your actions. And it's through consistent action that you will make progress, build momentum, and eventually reach your destination. You have to get comfortable with discomfort, with uncertainty, and with the idea that nothing will ever be perfect. It's through imperfection that success is built, through trial and error, through adjusting course, and through learning as you go. Every successful person you look up to started somewhere, and they didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They acted in spite of the challenges, in spite of the unknowns, and they figured things out as they went. They were willing to embrace the uncertainty and take that first step, even when they didn't have all the answers. They understood that it's the act of doing that brings results, not the act of waiting. In conclusion, you have to let go of the idea that things will ever be perfect. The perfect moment doesn't exist. So instead of waiting for the ideal time to start, take action now. The only way to move forward is to start moving. Don't let fear or uncertainty stop you from taking that first step. The sooner you realize that the perfect moment is a myth, the sooner you'll start building the life you've always wanted.